this verse, that the Sakis and Manjaris decorate and dress Radharani as well as Krishna. Some fan him, some give flower garlands, some comb his hair and decorate him with flowers, and some draw decorations on his face with different minerals. In their perfected forms, they are present serving Krishna, while in their sadhak bodies, they are meditating and serving by performing the limbs of bhakti. Sakhi gana chari pashe seva kore abhilashe, paramase seva sukha dhare. The gopis do not think that Krishna is Atmaram and Aptakam, self-satisfied and fulfilled with his desires. They always serve him with the endeavor to please him. Radha and Krishna's beauty manifests in the hearts of the Sakhis like Sri Rupa Manjari, Lalita and Vishaka. They are always serving with new and new inspiration and desire. They offer one presentation after another. Nudra Nilamani Rupa Goswami describes 5 types of Sakhis. Sakhi, Nitya Sakhi, Pran Sakhi, Priya Sakhi, and Param Prashta Sakhi. Their bhav nishta is unique. Some have extra affection for Krishna, while some have more affection for Radharani. Some have equal love for both Radharani and Krishna. Some have more love for Radharani. Dhanishta and Vrinda are Krishna Snehadika. They have extra love for Krishna. That is, the other Sakhis. Vrinda and Dhanishta, they fall under the category of Sakhi. They have extra love for Krishna. They are more inclined to Krishna than Radhika. Dhanishta, Vrinda are examples. Lalita Devi and Ashtasakis have affection for both Radharani and Krishna, but they still show more favor towards Radha. And that's why they are what is called Samasneha, in equal affection for both. And Lalita Abhishaka, they are considered to be Param Krishna Sakis or Priyanarma Sakis. Param Krishna Sakhi and Priyanarma Sakhi are synonymous. It means the same word, the same category of Sakhi. The Pran Sakis and Nitya Sakis, like Kasturi, Manjari, and others, are on Radharani's side. Rupa Manjari, she is like the head of the Pran Sakis. The Pran Sakis and Nitya Sakis, these are both categories of Manjaris. The Manjaris always have more affection for Radharani. This is confirmed in Vrindavan Mahimamrita. They always have more affection. Ananya Radha Padakamal Dasyaika Rasati Hare Sangha Ranga Swapana Samayana Nabi Dalhati. One pointed surface to Sri Radha's lotus feet is an ocean of spiritual nectar. One who desires to swim in that ocean will never desire personal happiness, Sri Hari, even in dreams. Gauranga Saraswati Pad in Vrindavan Mahinamrita. He's describing here the mood of the Manjari. But even in their dreams, they want to meet Hari. Krishna may forcefully go and try to meet with the Manjari, but they weep and do not look at Krishna. They run to Radharani. Radharani smiles and understands their hearts. Das Goswami writes in his Bharata Vilas Stava, Tambula Arpana Mardana Payo Dana Visara Adibir Vrindaranya Maheshwarim Priyataya Yasto Sayanti Priya Prana Prastha Sati Kularapi Kila Sankochita Bhumika Keli Bhumishu Rupa Manjari Mukasta Dasika Sankshayam. I take shelter of the Kinkaris of Srimati Radhika, of whom Rupa Manjari is primary. Unlike the Pran-Prashta Sakhis, they can render any service without hesitation. They always affectionately satisfy Srimati Radhika by their different types of services, such as bringing dampu, massaging her feet, bringing her water, and arranging her rendobu with Krishna. Whereas the Manjaris, they engage in multitude of variety of sevas. Even they perform service that even Lalita and Vishaka cannot perform. This means those services which happen during the time of the Kunja Lila of Radha and Krishna. Lalita and Vishaka, they are hesitant to enter into the Kunja at that time. But the Manjaris, they feel no hesitancy because they are radicals, mates. Their whole being, existence is only to serve Srimati Radhika at all times. So they can freely come and go. They're not shy to see Radha and Krishna in any condition. Lalita and other Astasakis are very dear to Radharani. Rupa Manjari is the most beloved Manjari and maidservant of Radharani. All those coming in Mahaprabhu's line are under the guidance of Rupa Goswami. There is no selfishness in Manjari Bhava. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur has written many pastimes of Radha Madhava. How are the Sakis pleased and happy? They are on the side of Radharani, and Radharani's pleasure and happiness manifest in their hearts as well. The Manjari and Sakis are always ready for new services and pastimes. They have no selfishness. The Manjaris do not wait for Krishna's love and affection. They are completely satisfied with Radharani's love. Gurudev gives mantra and inspiration for service. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Bahya antara ihar duito sadhan, bahya sadak dehe kore sravana kirtan, mone nija siddha deha koriya bhavan, ratri dine kore braje krishner sevan. There are two types of sadhana. One is external, bahya sadhana, and one is internal. Externally, in the body of a practitioner, one always performs Nam Sankirtan, offers obeisance, performs Pada Sevana, Archana, and Vandana. But he is always internally meditating on his perfected form and serving Radharani with the mood of a Manjari, under the guidance of Rupa Manjari and his Guru Manjari. In other words, internally and externally, service is taking place. Our Guru Bhargava have said that the Raganuga Sadhana engages his body and senses in Radha Krishna's service. He does not have any attraction to this world and its fleeting objects. With Manjari Bhava, one always engages in service under the guidance of Guru and the Brahmadevis. When one has greed for this, inspiration will come. This is not speculation. When the Mahabhagavad is present, one should pray to him. He will then reveal in the heart if one's mood is correct or incorrect. One will continuously be chanting Harinam and serving if this greed comes. Inspiration from the spiritual world enters the hearts of the sadhak because the Ragatmik Brajvasi's hearts melt, seeing his ardent endeavor. The sadhak should pray like this. Shri Rupa Manjari Karachita Parapadma Goshtendra Nandana Bhujarpita Mastakaya Amorata Kanaka Gaudi Padara Vinda Samvahanani Sanakaistava Kim Karishya. Srimati Radhika is tired from engaging in amorous pastime and is resting with her head on Shri Krishna's lap. He is slowly stroking her head and Rupa Manjari is carefully massaging her legs and fanning her. Rati Manjari is watching this with a greedy heart, praying to receive the remnants of Rupa Manjari's service. One should pray with these different verses one after the other. Kim Karishu Bahusha Kaluka Kubani Nityam Parasya Purushasya Shikam Namo Tasya Kararasa Nidhe Visabhanu Jayas Tatkele Kunja Bhavanandana Bharjanisham. Prabodhananda Saraswati, Shri Radha Rasa Sulanidhi describes, O beloved daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, O ocean of Ras, that beautiful cowherd boy who wears a peacock feather tilted in his hair is actually the original demon. Still, he is always rolling on the ground at the feet of your kinkaris and pathetically begging them with many grief-stricken words to enter your kunja, where both of you perform your playful amorous pastimes. I would consider my life a success if I could even be one stick in the broom your kinkaris used to sweep your charming kunja. One after another, the sadhak would pray like this when he is chanting Harinam with a pure heart. He will not move here and there and waste any time. He will always be greedy for this eternal service. Then inspiration and power will come from that world. He will always be inspired to perform newer and newer services. When people come near such a Raganuga sadhak, he will give them service. He will engage them in many activities that are favorable for devotion. One should first perform the services in the mind, and then by body. This way, people will come and they will also be engaged in service. So much seva will be accomplished. A Raganuga Sadhak will not have a mood or desire to collect so much opulence. Nothing that comes will be used for the enjoyment of mundane people. Everything will be for the sweet service of Radha and Krishna. In other words, the Raganuga Sadhak, he doesn't accept donations and gifts and charity, and then use them for supporting his own friends and family members and people from his previous ashram or those related to him. Rather, everything he gets, he immediately engages, he utilizes in Krishna's service, not for anything else. Those who take charity and the wealth of others, utilize them in their own service, utilize them in maintaining their families, then they appear great anartha. This way they become condemned. This is what you can practically see. People they claim to, oh, we are the Goswamis, we are the this, we are that. This is our temple, the deity is ours. And using the deity, they use that, they come from the deity to maintain their families. Therefore, they are like caste Goswamis. They are not Goswami by the title, reality. They don't practice. Who are the Goswamis? Lokanath Goswami, Bhugarma Goswami, Sad Goswami. They are the Goswamis. Saptam Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. These are real Goswamis. You cannot call yourself a Goswami. Just like that. Now, in Gaudiya Math, the title Goswami is only given to the Acharya of the Math. Even Mr. Pujapad Bhaktivinoda Vamana Goswami Maharaj, he was Acharya. Then they would not call Gurudev with the title Goswami. They go in Narayan Maharaj. That is their mood, Only the Acharya is Goswami. Call Gurudev is more than Goswami. So then when Gurudev started initiating performing the Acharya Leela, then naturally the title was conferred to him. And they did not object. But before that then, never. Goswami was only considered to be highest. When Prabhupada went to the West, then he had a little different system. Prabhupada's system was that anyone who was a brahmachari and they took sannyas, then they would become a Swami. They would be like Siddharth Swami or this Swami, that Swami. But if they were grihastha first and then they took sannyas, it means they're renouncing more in that sense. They have worldly experience. Then Prabhupada would give them the title Goswami. You would have like different titles, Veera Krishna Goswami, Tamal Krishna Goswami, then the Goswami title. So he was more, in a generic way. And Prabhupada's way for sannyas also, he would always keep the brahmachari name for the sannyas. He wouldn't change the name. This is like, because Mahaprabhu also, his brahmachari name was Krishna Chaitanya. So when he took sannyas, then also his name was maintained the same. So then Prabhupada is like, we're following in the footsteps of Mahaprabhu, but we don't change the name. So every acharya have their own speciality. But in the Math, especially in Gaudiya Math, the system is in Ananta Samhita, there are 108 names, sannyas names. And one of those names is given, chosen for the sannyas. And then any adjective of any qualifier that name is given along with that. So in Prabhupada's time then, like Prabhupada was here. His first sannyas disciples, he gave the name Tirtha. Bhakti, qualifying as Pradip. Bhakti Pradip Tirtha Maharaj. This Bhakti line was why Bhakti? Because following the line of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Prabhupada was an ardent follower of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So we all have to be connected to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And that stream, that flow of Shuddha Bhakti that he brought into this world. If it wasn't for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaur Shakti Surupaya Rupanugaya. He is the foremost of Rupanugas. He is Gaur Shakti himself. He is Bhakti Bhagirath. Just like when the Prithvi was devoid of Ganga, that time Bhagirath by his tapasya, in order to deliver his forefathers, he brought the Ganga to this earth. In the same way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by his tapasya, he brought the Ganga also to this world. What Ganga? The Bhakti Bhagirath. The ranga of devotion, and the flow of pure devotion, Uttama Bhakti, Raj Bhakti. Bhakti Vinod Thakur wrote that. So in the modern age, he is the foremost, and he is the Saptam Goswami, seventh Goswami. So that line of devotion, if it wasn't for him, everything, the flow of devotion, pure devotion would have dried up. There would be no Shuddha Bhakti in this world. All Bhakti is coming from where? From Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So therefore he gave to his sannyasi, we are followers of who? We are in the Vinod Saraswati. Following Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Following Saraswati Thakur. So I said, Bhakti, you are Bhakti. Connect to Bhakti Vinod. Connect to the Shuddha Bhakti. Then he will give a qualifier. Pretty, a very beautiful, self-affording, like a beautiful lamp. Of what? Tirtha. Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj. You are not only, you are a living holy place. Bhagavad Gita Bhagavadas Tirtha Kurtas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vivo Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Svantas Nena. Vidur Maitreya Rishi speaking to Vidur. And you are a walking Tirtha personified. Wherever you go, you purify that place. Why? Because you hold the Lord, the holder of the Shankar-Chakra Gadapadma. You keep him in your heart all the time. Therefore, you are a holy place personified. The Vaishnavas, they are real Tirthas. They are purified of Tirthas in this way. In Kali Yuga, all the Tirthas become contaminated. Slowly. People come and they offer their sins, that place becomes contaminated. Any place where sinful activity is going on, that place becomes very contaminated, very darkness. It's a very inauspicious place. So in all these Kali Yuga people, they keep going to one Tirtha and offering their sins there. That Tirtha will become contaminated. And the Tirthas themselves need to be purified, and then the Vaishnavas, they come and they purify those Tirthas by the touch of their holy. That if Narottam Thakur says, in his song, Thakura Vaishnava Vara Abanir Susamana, Sunabaya Vayakamana, Tirtha Jal Pavitra Guna, Likiyache Purana. Tirtha Jal Pavitra Guna, Tirtha Jal Pavitra Guna, Likiyache Purana. So that the Tirtha Jal is not glorified. The Tirtha is pure, but the lotus feet of the Vaishnava is glorified throughout the scriptures, more than even Tirtha Jal. So, this is the Vaishnava, the real Tirtha. So, Prabhupada will give sannyas according to their natures, their names. Bhakti Pradeep Tirtha Maharaj is so much responsible bringing so many people to Prabhupada. He was the first person to look at the West also. Give names, Bhakti Rakshak, Sridhar Goswami. According to their nature, he is a protector, he is a guardian of devotion. Through his writings, he was protecting the Dhara, the Bhakti Vinod Dhara. He was glorifying Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He wrote a sloka on Bhakti Vinod Thakur describing his personality and his moods and everything. And Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, when he read that, he said, oh, now I'm confident that even after I leave the line, Bhakti Vinod Thakur will continue. So he considers him to be a protector, a guardian of devotion. That's why he gave the name Raksha. Sridhar. One who is always holding Srimati Radhika wrote in one's heart is known as Sridhar. So, in this way, Prabhupada began this. And then Paramguru, his unique was that of all he will give the adjective Vedanta to everyone. Bhakti Vedanta. Why? He wanted to show that Vedanta Sutra is the essence of all scriptures. It is the ultimate. It's like the final one of the. Consider the final work of the Vedanta. Bhagavatam is his final work, but before that, the Vedanta was his ultimate masterpiece. Everything there condensed in that one sutra. So, but it is very hard to decipher, very hard to understand. It can be interpreted in many ways. Shankaracharya, he has given impersonal interpretation of the Vedanta. His interpretation is wrong. He has even changed one of the slokas. Ananda Moha Vyasat. Brahma is Anandamoy. It is imbued with the quality of Ananda. He said, how can Nirgun, Nirvishesha, Niras, Nishakti, Nirgun Brahma, how can there be any quality imbued in it? This is wrong. To change the sutra, so the Vedavyasa is making a mistake here. To change the sutra to Ananda Swarupa Vyasa. Brahma is by name, is Ananda by his Swarup. And Swarup is impersonal. It can mean anything. So then there's ambiguity, became very ambiguous. Change. So Vedanta is, but the original commentator of Vedanta, the first famous commentator was Shankaracharya. Therefore, they call the Brahma, the original comment. If you look in dictionaries, then you'll see, whenever it's talking about Vedanta, he will mention the Shariraka Bhashya. Shankaracharya's commentary on this. The commentary on that. And then in his Shariraka Bhashya, he has quoted so many famous aphorisms from the Vedas and here. So it's very Shastric and very technical, scholarly. But Paraguru said, no, Vedanta means what? The purpose of Vedanta is only one thing, that is bhakti. Nowhere in the 555 sutras of Vedanta or the Brahma Sutra can we find the words mukti or gyan. Not even one time can you find the words mukti or gyan in the 555 sutras of Vedanta. Not even once. How can you derive an impersonal interpretation that gyan and mukti is the ultimate goal of Vedanta? It's wrong. Bhakti is the import of Vedanta. And therefore, pure devotion is the nitya dharma, the jaiva dharma of the jiva. This is what Veda Vyasa wants to distribute, that he wants to establish the jivas in the eternal flame dharma. That is why he has written Vedanta. Therefore, bhakti, we are Vedantists. We are followers of Vedanta, that means we are followers of pure devotion, bhakti. He gave all his names, he gave titles to his sannyasis, Bhakti Vedanta. Bhakti Vedanta, and he said, Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Maharaj, Prabhupada, Swami, he is the master of the whole world, the controller, the ruler of the whole world. For his Swami. That, according to his nature, then he gave that name. And according to that, he gave Bhaktivedanta Narayan, Bhaktivedanta Vaman, Bhaktivedanta Trivikram. This way. Narayan means who? Narayan. One who gives shelter, who is shelter for all mankind, he is known as Narayan. That means Paramagurudev knew that Gurudev would shelter all living beings. And Vaman Dev is looking very small. Vaman Goswami Maharaj is looking very humble, very timid. Kanya Rashi. Very small. But really, inside, what did Vaman Dev do? That he revealed his true swarup, Trivikram. So, then you can see that Vaman Goswami, externally he was like Vaman, but internally he was Trivikram. He was everything. And Trivikram Goswami, internally he is very soft, but externally he is so bold. So therefore he gave name Trivikram. Huge Virat Swarup. Big giant, so strong and by nature and powerful and outspoken also. By internally he is Kusumar, Mriduna Kusumar Api, Bhakti Vedanta Gogovardhana Sevaka. Says Mriduna Kusumar Api, Gogovardhana Sevaka, Bhajan Api Katarani, Bhakti Vedanta. According to their nature, then the name of the sannyas title is given according to their swabhav, to their service and everything. So then this Bhakti Vedanta line is continuing, going on. And Srila Gurudev, he continued that line after Gurudev. Gurudev gave so many sannyas actually. Swami Maharaj, he gave all total almost like 80 sannyas. Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, he gave about 30 sannyasis, 30, around 30, 30. Swami Maharaj gave over 80. So many sannyasis. He said, this is battlefield commission. We're fighting against Maya. What happens in the war when the lieutenants and the generals and the higher officers begin to get killed. So the army has to operate. So then naturally those who are in the lower ranks, they get promoted automatically up to fill those vacant positions. Otherwise, army cannot function. She said, battlefield commission. We're fighting against Maya. I have all these new boys and new soldiers. I have no lieutenants. I have no generals. I have no captains. And now it's time to promote some. We're going to give you sannyas. Put them in positions of power. Now go open temples, preach, distribution. And you can see how much he accomplished by empowering all of them. He knew all. Even said Nicholas that many of you will fall down. Anyhow, everything you're doing is for your eternal benefit of the world. Prabhupada told one sannyasi, just preach for 10 years. Now we give you the eligibility to come and sit in Vrindavan and chant. That sannyasi preached for 9.5 years. Then Gurudev again gave him sannyas. And then again, unfortunately, he again fell down. Anyhow, the jivas, they are so merciful. Bhakti Raksha Srila Goswami, his successive acharya, he was a brahmachari. He fell down like his brahmachari. He left. Then he brought him back, gave him sannyas. He fell down again and got married. Then again he brought him back and gave him sannyas and made him acharya. How merciful, just the one jiva never gave up on him, even though he was doing so much wrong. In that sense. So Prabhupada also, he knew, according to time, place, and circumstance, everything has to be done. And he adopted everything. He took the same wine in new bottle, took the essence of Daiva Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, Vaishnava Dharma, Mahaprabhu's Prem Dharma, and he distributed very expertly in such a way that everyone in the West could accept it. People, those who were very rigid and very reserved and like that conservative, that they would criticize, oh, why is he doing like this? Why is he allowing women on the altar? Why is he allowing harmoniums? Why he took the name Prabhupada, title Prabhupada? Gurudev defended him. Prabhupada had so many titles. We all took his titles from Vishnupad, Paramahamsa, Parivrajagacharya, and this title, that title. He took so many of his titles. Srila. He took all these titles. He took the last title, the remnants, Prabhupada. What is the problem? And also his mood is that I am always at the power of my Prabhu. I'm always residing in his lotus feet. Therefore, when I hear them say Prabhupada, I'm reminded of my Guru Maharaj. Gurudev defended. So, this sannyas tradition is being distributed, and for the purpose of distributing this, bhakti Vedanta, is pure devotion. In so many ways, it's been going on. Now, Gurudev had also like sannyasis about 30. I remember counting one list. That knowledge is like so many sannyasis came and go. Now where they are, like very hard to find and locate them all. But if I remember correctly, the Gurudev he gave over 60 sannyasis, like around equal Indian to Westerners, like around 30 to Westerners, 30 to Indians, like that. I made a list. I was double check, but so many there. First year, it was the year 2000. This was the first time that Gurudev gave sannyas. That year was the year Gurudev and Bhaktivinoda Vamana Goswami together in Godpuni, they gave maybe like 15 sannyasis that time, Indians and Westerners. That time Bhaktivinoda, Madhav Maharaj, Bon Maharaj, Tirtha Maharaj, they took sannyas. Aranya Maharaj took that time, first Western sannyasi. Parivrajak Maharaj now, he took sannyas. Bharati Maharaj, who passed away, Janardhan Maharaj, Goswami Maharaj. All the now they're like the big acharyas in Devananda Gaurimat. The current acharya Godaya Maharaj, he also took sannyas that day. Govinda Maharaj, he passed away when Vamana Goswami disappeared. So many, like maybe even more than 15, maybe like 20, 30. That one day they gave so many. Then the next year, 2001, they didn't give any sannyas. 2002, Gurudev gave to Ashram Maharaj. the second Western sannyasi took Ashram Maharaj. In 2003, took Padmanabh Maharaj and Bhaktisar Maharaj. And that time there was one Sarvabhauma Prabhu, he was really staying in Mathura, his name was Nishkim Maharaj. And they might have been one of Babaji's. Then 2003, 2002, sorry, 2001 Ashram Maharaj took sannyas, 2002 was Padmanabh Maharaj and Bhaktisar. 2003 took Sanjan Maharaj, Raranti Maharaj, he was one Russian devotee, and Damodar Maharaj. These three Westerners took him to 2003 sannyas. Then in 2004 was big first Gaur Purnima in Govardhan. That time 2004. Oh, no, 2004. Gaur Purnima. Gurudev celebrated first time in Brajmandal. Gurudev said for many years, Gurudev was mixed feelings for Gurudev. He was very happy but very sad. More than 50 years I've been following Navadvip Parikrama. Now I'm not allowed to go. But he said, actually, secretly, I've always wanted to perform Navadvip Parikrama in Brajmandal once. Why? Because Brajmandal is not different from Navadvip now. They're not different. Therefore, by doing Parikrama Vrindavan, you go into the specific places. You can visit the 9 islands by doing Parikrama in Brajmandal. Guru said, I always secretly have a desire to do that. Let's feel that desire that year. We did 5 days. Like Navadvip Dham Parikrama, same program. We did 5 days Parikrama. We went to Nandagaon, Varashana, we went so many places. Related to the 9 islands of Navadvip. And that year, Gurudev gave sannyas to Vaikanesh Maharaj, Nemi Maharaj, Shokti Maharaj, those three, and Muni Maharaj. Those 4. Then in 2005, then after this, then in 2005, Navadvip Parikrama happened. Then so many, then Sanya Gurudev is giving more and more sannyasis. 2005, I don't remember very clearly after this. 2004, exactly what it, but then there were so many. There was many Indian sannyasis, Subhat Maharaj, Harijan Maharaj, brother of Madhav Maharaj. So many were there. Later years, then there was out of Westerners, there were many. There was actually one Bhikshu Maharaj. Came once, never saw him after that. I don't know. He was from like Indian body devotee, he was from like Singapore or somewhere. There was one Orion Brahmachari, Orison Brahmachari. He came, he took in Kartik actually. His name was Madhusudan Maharaj. Came, took sannyas, he disappeared. No one ever knows what happened to him. Some people like that from other mats, they would come and they would give them sannyas. The current Acharya, the head of the Gondrundri, the Surabhi Kunj, that sannyasi there took sannyas from Gurudev. Then there's one Venezuelan devotee, his name was Sagar Maharaj. He was Sagar Maharaj. Where he knows, no one knows. Somewhere in Venezuela, somewhere he is. Then Chidangi Maharaj took. Vishnu Maharaj took. Puri Maharaj, servant of Tulika Maharaj, he took. So many of that, I don't even remember, like, unlimited name of that. This way, this line, this institution of mercy. And now the Prabhupada are saying that, I start giving sannyas and I'll make everyone connected to Gurudev. Like how Prabhupada was doing, up to now it has all been connected to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But Prabhupada said, no, I'll start giving sannyas based on the Bhakta Bandhav title. Bhakta Bandhav, so and so Maharaj. Bhakta Bandhav, so and so Maharaj. Prabhupada said like that way. Why? Because actually, there's no contradiction. Because Bhakti, Bhakta and Bhagavan, these three are not different. The devotee, the Lord and the devotion. These three are not different. Therefore we say Sakshat Haritva. Pure devotee is not different. He's a representative of the Lord. You cannot find, and these three things are eternal. They are eternal vastu, the eternal principles. Bhakti, Bhakti, and Bhagavan. They never destroy. Kaunteya Pratijani Name Bhakti Pranashiti. Declare it boldly, O Arjuna, my Bhakti never, he never perishes. And Gurudev, he was Bhakta Panda. Gurudev gave him this title, friend of all devotees. Not only is he a friend, but he has deep concern, deep compassion. To become Gosai Maharaj, he said, told, as followers of Gurudev, disciple of Gurudev, he said that one quality that I've seen in you, Gurudev, that I've not seen